The Resolutions Committee has voted to recommend proposal number 103B, Iraq and the Economy, for adoption by the Convention at its next partial report. This proposal commits us to work in coalition to bring the troops home, ensure them the health care and other services they need, and shift the billions now being spent on the war to meet urgent needs at home. Number 103B contains only stylistic revisions to 103A. At the request of one of the delegates speaking before the committee, we've added the word President before George Bush's name. On behalf of the committee, I move the adoption of the Resolutions Committee's partial report, which recommends adoption of proposal number 103B.
Is there a second? It's moved and seconded to adopt the partial report of the Resolutions Committee recommending adoption of Resolution 103B. Mic 3. Sergeant at Arms, turn on mics, lights when there's speakers. Thanks. Mic 3. Can we light mic 3 and light, please? Light.
Brothers and sisters, my name is Stan Israel. I'm a vice president from New England, and I started my career as an 1199er way back in New York, and I've been in Connecticut, and now I'm in Rhode Island, and I'm proud to say I've been a member and a staff person for 1199 for 34 years. I'm also just as proud to say that after 2 tours of duty in Vietnam, I came home and I became a charter member of the Vietnam Veterans Against the War in 1968. And don't ever let anyone tell you that being against the war is not a labor issue or a union issue. I spent 2 tours in Vietnam where I found out why I was going to work for the union and be part of the labor movement, and it was because the closer you got to where the shooting was, the darker the skin was of the workers that were there fighting, the lower pay that people were there, the working people. It's the sons and daughters of the workers that went to fight that war for the rich people to get richer and richer and richer.
Delegates, please. Speaker, continue.
I also want to acknowledge that I know in the room today there's a lot of other veterans. If you're here, stand up. We don't have time to applaud all of you. I'll lose my time. But stand up and, you know,
Could all the veterans,
welcome
I'll give
home.
you some time for the veterans. Could all the veterans stand up? Could we light the House? Let's thank those people who served our country.
Stand up, brothers and sisters. Everybody stand up for them. Get up for them. Come on. Remember, it's not our fault that we fought in the war. We got sent there. It wasn't what we were about. It never was what we were about. Despite the arguments of George Bush that democracy is coming to Iraq, the fact is that Iraqi workers are still as oppressed as ever. The anti-labor law that Saddam Hussein put into effect in 1987 is still in place. The law known as number 150 bans independent trade unions in the public sector and in the entire oil industry, which means most workers in Iraq do not have the legal right to form unions. The current Maliki government has added to this insult by freezing the bank accounts of the unions in Iraq and by harassing, attacking, and jailing trade union activists. This month will be a general union election run by the government. It will still ban public workers and oil workers from voting. The government will also reserve the right to disqualify union leaders chosen by workers once they are elected if they don't meet the government approval. My local 1199 New England had the honor of hosting Iraqi trade union leaders in Hartford,
Just
Connecticut.
1 second. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Without objection, I'm going to add the 25 seconds we gave to honor the veterans back to the Speaker. Go ahead, Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. President. These courageous activists told us that workers struggle every day in impossible conditions for their workplace rights. They also told us that they do not believe that U.S. military presence helps them in this struggle. Rather, our presence in their country provides the excuse for more violence, more chaos, and attacks on their leaders and members. Our presence, these union leaders say, interferes with the process of Iraqis' desire to establish a stable, broad government. I urge you all to support this amendment. It's very important, and God bless everybody.
Point of information on mic 3.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Roberto Alvarez from United Healthcare Workers West. I just had a point of clarification on the recommendation of 103B. I just want to know if that was the language that read as follows. Presidential candidate Barack Obama promises to bring the troops home by the end of 2009. John McCain says that he will bring them home sometimes between 2008 and 2013. Only a popular movement to bring the troops home will make sure either candidate...
Excuse me. That language is not included in this resolution.
Can I have an explanation?
The committee has given its report. That is its report. If you want to debate against the resolution because it didn't include that language, that's fine. That's not, you're now debating the resolution. So, mic 1 for speaker. Thank you.
My name is Deb Bond. I'm a 30-year member of Healthcare Pennsylvania. I come before you standing on the side of this resolution. My union sister stands with me, both for moral support and in case I can't finish my written statement. I've lived the American dream. A husband, 2 children, 2 dogs, owned our own house, no financial difficulties to speak of. I'm a military wife. My husband has served 35 years between the United States Navy and the Pennsylvania National Guard. My son is an ensign in the United States Navy Reserve, and my daughter is Ensign Elizabeth Bond, U.S. Navy flight officer. We know the service numbers, the deaths, the wounded, the dollars, the suicides, all the stress-related cases. But what I want to talk to you about is the emotional toll. On January 10th, 2006, at 11:10 p.m., I had that knock at the door, and 2 officers were standing there. I was told my daughter's plane was missing. 24 hours later, I started a nightmare where I was told the plane was found and there were no survivors. This happened 2 weeks before her 24th birthday, 3 days after her boyfriend proposed, and she had accepted. 7 months later, I sat with my family in the living room with 9 high-ranking military officials who read us a form letter and told us that the common remains from that plane accident were inadvertently disposed of in the incinerator with the garbage. 8 days ago, I was in Washington, D.C. with 4,000 other military survivors. I stood there with families who face heartache on a daily basis. I stand before you today just a shell of the person I was 3 years ago. I no longer function at the level I was before. My brothers and sisters can attest to the fact that I rarely smile and rarely laugh. I don't listen to music except if coming to a union event, and my only extracurricular activity is hockey because my daughter's sport was the only true sport. My family celebrates no birthdays, anniversaries, or holidays. Our shades are drawn. The American flag and Navy flag that are on my front porch hang prominently with the light on, waiting for the children to come home. Every 3 months, I leave Pennsylvania with a carload of flowers and go to Arlington and visit the children whose parents can't get there because they live too far away. In the last 4 months, I have added 7 new children to my list. I can tell you that Section 60 at Arlington has added quite a few new rows in the last few months. What I ask you to do is support Resolution 103B. No mother, no parent should have to do what I did and bury their child. Our local union stands as an affiliate to the U.S. Labor Against the War, and I ask other locals to join us in this affiliation. Thank you.
Thank you.